I'll call the meeting to order February 23rd, 2026. The Building Standards Commission will stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. Texas flag. Texas.
Honor the Texas flag. Pledge allegiance to thee, Texas, one state under God, one and indivisible.
We'll need an approval of the minutes, if y'all have all read it. Do I have a motion?
Motion to approve the minutes.
Okay, have a motion. Do I have a
Second motion.
and a second? Okay, everybody approve?
Approve.
Okay. All right, we'll open the regular, meeting with a consider an appeal by TX Park Fund Number 1 LP of a decision of the city that sewer utility extensions proposed along a property being developed and generally located on Park Street near the intersection of Park Street and Martinsville Street shall be required to extend at least to the midpoint of the developer's frontage. And we have Case Opperman.
Yes, Chairwoman, excuse me, and Commission, Case Opperman, Director of Public Works and City Engineer. Actually, at the beginning here, I'll say that items 4A and 4B both are going to kind of be along the same tack. So both of these items are going to be the same type of appeal. I'll just say at the outset, the ordinance, the utility ordinance, speaks to extensions of water and or sewer mains and lays out different requirements for such extensions. And if a developer sees that there is a reason to appeal the requirements in the ordinance, they have the right to bring that before this commission. So items 4A and 4B both are going to be seeking the same kind of appeal tonight. So for 4A, ETX Park Fund Number 1 LP is currently designing improvements along Park Street in the general vicinity of Martinsville Street on the south side. And as such, they need a sewer extension from the west to serve these pieces of property that they've subdivided. And you've read, I assume, the summary in the background here, so I won't go back through all of it. But the general idea is in extending the sewer to these properties, they can get it across lots 2 and 3 easily. But when they get to lot 4, essentially they want to bring it just inside the western property boundary. There is sewer to the east of this property, which, sorry, I forgot I had the clicker here. So essentially you can see on your screen that they are, excuse me. Yeah, lot 4 there. They are requesting to just be able to bring the sewer from the west just inside lot 4 to serve lot 4. As you can see, there's an existing sanitary sewer manhole to the east, which is the end of a line that serves the properties to the east. So their request is to appeal the ordinance, which says that any extension of a sewer or water main has to go to the midpoint of the lot in question. So they would like to appeal the decision, arguing that it does not apply in this case. And I will hand the microphone over to the representative of the developer, Michael Delaney with 215, for his comments.
Don, it's all right if I hand out a couple of exhibits for that? Yeah. Just one of each? Yeah, there's just one for each. From there.
pass these down.
Yeah. Apologize, I'm a little old-fashioned and print stuff out. so.
You knew I'd be here.
Good afternoon, Michael Delaney with 215 Consulting. We're representing East Texas Park Fund number 1 in this project, and so they hired us to help them with the sewer extension. What you're looking at as far as this exhibit is kind of something to kind of show the terrain, topography, and some of the constraints that challenge this particular location. So as the colors get more blue and purple and shade, that is actually showing a higher point of elevation. And as they get more red and orange in color, that's the low point. So you can see everything's kind of falling away to the southeast of us. The other gray dashed line there that kind of shows to go through lot 4 is a petroleum pipeline that kind of gives us a few more challenges with this particular location. And so crossing those is actually a pretty tough endeavor for utilities, and also even tougher for the city to maintain. So we looked at that in consideration of this sewer extension. Furthermore, we're kind of at the end of the line, if you will, for the extension of this sewer. So meaning that we can't extend any further east. The system won't allow us to extend any further east beyond this lot, and they already have sewer to the east. And it's just going to be one of those things that we're going to find more often than not now, that we're getting to the ends of the lines, and we're going to see more of these cases come forward with, hey, we can only get so far before topography says, hey, we can't gravity sewer anymore. And that's what this one actually represents as well. And so we're just simply appealing that we can extend to that corner of lot 4 and serve everything west of that pipeline, and there's sanitary sewer that's available on the east side that can serve everything east of that pipeline, and the city doesn't have to have something that crosses it down the road that they struggle to maintain. So it was just more of a logical location to land rather than trying to, force something that didn't apply. So that's why we're here to appeal that ordinance, to say, hey, let's stop here, because it's not going to be any benefit to the city to continue that extension.
Okay, can I ask a question?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, because the Boys and Girls Club is further up the
Yes,
hill,
ma'am.
correct? Because I know we had a hard time.
We had a hard time getting sewer to that one
Right.
too, and so
Yes,
that was
yes.
another very keen example of this same application where we weren't able to get to the midpoint of that lot,
Right,
that same
do that.
extension.
okay. So we're just gonna get there, but putting it there will serve lot 4.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Okay. That's my question. I
So
wanna
we
make
can
sure.
serve all the way to the back of lot 4, and we can serve all the way to the backs of lot 3 and lot 2, and we can serve some portion of lot 1. The topography is such that they will have to put a lift station in if they ever want to develop further back in the lot 1.
Right.
I just have a question for Case, if I may.
Thank you.
Since you have this manhole here, looks like almost at the east line of 4, and it serves it going to the east there, I guess.
Mhm.
Would there be any reason why you would need to ever connect this sewer line that they're proposing to that existing?
Are you talking about just in terms of our system itself?
Right. Would it make any difference? Would it make any?
Yeah,
In the
strictly
future.
from looking at our system, I don't know that there's a need for that.
No advantage?
I don't know that no, it's for sewer, it doesn't really do you the same benefit that water does, where you need loop connectivity. There's no pressure to maintain or anything like that. In fact, we don't really want to maintain pressure in the sewer line.
Yeah.
So, but
I'll
it
let
wouldn't
him
it wouldn't do that anyway. But no, to answer your question, there's no real benefit to the city to have them connected. No.
Okay.
Okay.
And, Mr. Hoffman,
Yes, sir.
so as it stands, the city ordinance, as far as upholding the city's decision, this is going by, is it ordinance? It's just how it is? Or did the city say, you yourself, city council, recently decide this, that it should go to the middle of that?
No, that's by ordinance,
Okay.
and I couldn't even tell you when that was put into place. But the city is strictly just upholding the ordinance as it's read.
Okay.
So-
In your opinion, you're the engineer. I'm not. So what do you think? Do you think it's necessary in your personal opinion?
I honestly don't believe it's appropriate for me to have an opinion, since it's an appeal, to the ordinance. If this was a variance or something else, I could probably give an opinion, but I think any opinion I give, could potentially impact y'all's decisions, so
Okay.
I think,
Well,
I think I have to leave it at that.
that's
Do
fine.
you know why the ordinance went to the middle of the lot?
Yeah, essentially, my understanding of it, of course, I wasn't here when it was written, but my understanding is it was just simply to make it more attainable, to extend lines further for the next developer. They don't have to go all the way to the opposite end of their neighbor's property to grab the sewer or the water and bring it not only to them, but to where they need on their lot. So it was mostly an attempt to not hinder development in the future beyond a certain parcel.
And commissioners, I can speak to that, having done some of this planning effort and worked with city engineers in a few other cities where there's been a lot of fast growth. Absent any impact fees, Nacogdoches doesn't have what is common in a lot of younger cities in Texas where developers are charged based on their impact to the system, and that sort of bears the city's cost in extending infrastructure. Without that requirement to extend to the midpoint, kind of alleviates some of that burden, allows development to continue, and doesn't put a lot of pressure. If someone was ready to develop lot 4, let's say, and we were only requiring someone to go to lot 1, they would bear a very large expense to extend that infrastructure, where those properties in the middle would probably not bear any expense. So it's not a perfect system. It doesn't replace something like impact fees, but it does get us closer to reducing that burden on new development.
And I just would like to say, I do apologize for having to take that stance on that.
No,
I saw
appreciate
kind of the dismay on your face, but I'm not trying to shirk responsibility or anything. I just feel in this
it. By all means.
particular case, in this scenario with an appeal, is probably just not good for the city to make a formal opinion on it.
Okay, well,
Can I ask a question of Mr. Delaney? On your plan here that I have in this exhibit, you have a stub out for future extension. Why do you have a stub out for future extension if you're not going to extend it? I'm looking at this right here.
Right.
That's the original exhibit, and that actually only goes to this triangular tract that existed when we put in for the sewer extension ordinance. So that's actually in the middle of lot 1. So
Okay.
it's further southwest. So it's a little bit
Okay.
of a little confusing there in that regard,
Okay.
based on the timing of when things happened with this particular tract. Unfortunately, that little triangular piece was in existence. They later subdivided to create lots
Oh,
1,
okay.
2, 3, and 4
Okay, so
of
this
Park
was an
Street.
older
So that's
exhibit.
actually about 300 feet away from where we're trying to end,
Okay.
further
So
to
you're-
the west.
You're talking about putting the manhole into lot 4 then?
A clean out at the end of it, yes,
Okay.
is what we're proposing. So if you were looking at the overall exhibit, Mr. Wyndham, it'd be down there where there's a pair of manholes,
Okay.
kind of on that far. Oh, can you see that screen there? So if I go one forward, you can see where lot 1,
Yeah.
that's
okay.
that pair of manholes
Mhm.
there where it jogs back into the easement is where that original exhibit
Okay.
showed it to stop and extend from for the future.
And that was important when we executed our reimbursement agreement with the property owners. So that initial image right there with that triangle lot, that was the exhibit used for that agreement. And knowing that the developers would come back and extend all the way up to those future lots for service. So two different graphics showing there, but for two different purposes. This
Okay.
one here was at the time when we reimbursed, this was up to what we would reimburse to. And before that lot subdivided yet again, that went to the midpoint. So that met our obligations for the reimbursement.
And so, after lot 4, go back to the other, after lot 4, there is no need for any other sewer lines.
Correct, and that's part of why
'Cause
we
it's gonna go the
proposed
other
to
way.
stop, is that there's already sewer beyond lot 4 in the
Right.
system, so there's no extension of this system any further to the east.
What's on the other side of lot 4?
There's a
Like
small
right-
subdivision,
Small
and then the
subdivision.
Boys and Girls Club. So if you're kind of familiar with that Park Street area, there's a small little housing subdivision, and then the Boys and Girls Club is the next development.
Yeah, the lot to the east of Lot 4 is served by sewer. There, if you were trying to look at every scenario, there could be a situation where Lot 4 subdivides and would be responsible for extending sewer beyond the point where it is now. But
Well, and to that point, there's actually already a stub out there out
Correct.
of the manhole on the far
On the east
northeast
side.
corner to allow that service to happen.
Okay.
So even then, they wouldn't have to truly extend any service. So the city could access it.
Okay. Any other questions?
Think so. No.
Do I have a motion to approve?
Motion to approve.
Do I have a second? Okay, a motion to approve in second. All in favor?
Aye.
Anybody opposed? Okay. Next, we have B, consider an appeal of MUM Investments of a decision of the city that sewer utilities extension proposed along the property being developed, more particularly described by Nacogdoches Central Appraisal District, partial 203177 and generally located south of West Austin Street, approximately 200 feet west of the intersection of West Austin Street and Opal Drive, shall be required to extend at least to the midpoint of the developer's frontage. Casey?
Again, Case Opperman, Director of Public Works, City Engineer. As I said before, this is pretty much the same appeal, just on a different property here in town. Developer is trying to develop the yellow highlighted property that you see on your screen. Sewer is available to the east, along Austin, around Austin Woods. However, the appellate would like to bring the sewer for the Lot 7 property off of an existing line on Opal Drive, and then across Lot 2 of Block 50 there. You can see kind of the yellow the orange and white line on this exhibit here. To bring it up Austin Street to the midpoint is what would basically meet the ordinance requirements, and they would like to appeal that decision for the same reasons that 4A appealed. So again, happy to answer any questions after Mr. Delaney gives his remarks. Yeah, which one is it? Okay.
Trying to understand that.
Yeah, okay. So you can see where they would have a proposed easement across the lot to the east, off of the end of Opal Drive, to bring Main to the nursing home property to the west. So
Not a colorful map.
More colors. We're passing down. Thank you.
And Michael Delaney with 215 Consulting here on behalf of MUM Investments, representing the developer on this project. This is, to serve the new skilled nursing facility that's proposed along West Austin. To the east is the senior center today. And so right now, when they say sanitary sewer is available along West Austin, it is about, 1,500 feet to the southeast of us, and trying to come up along. Yeah, so this doesn't even show where we would be able to tie in along Austin, because that 8-inch PVC is not actually connected to the city system. That was we're not sure what its intention was, other than that we think it was put in when they built West Austin just to have a crossing, but it's an unused, unconnected piece of the system. Probably doesn't need to show up as live in the maps, but that's our opinion. But where Gravity Sewer comes out of the subdivision to the east is actually further east down the way. If you're familiar with West Austin here, the senior center sits at the very high point, which is what you can kind of see on this exhibit that we've got in color. You can see how things fall away each direction. So, topography is such that everything's falling back to the east along West Austin from here, and then to the west. In the middle of the track that we're developing, there's a big pond and a very low ravine that crosses West Austin there. So what it means if we were try to extend from the east, from that southeast, is in order to get deep enough to serve this development, we would end up being about 30 feet deep in front of the senior center with a sanitary sewer line. That's not something that is maintainable for the city, nor would we consider, truly extendable at that point. So we had to look at alternative locations to try to get sanitary sewer to this particular tract. So Opal Drive became one of our options. We also looked at an extension off the end of Macklemore Court, which is the dead end cul-de-sac. You can kind of see there's a little stub out of a clean out there at the east end of Block 2, Block 50. But looking at it with the city and looking at with staff, we found that this was probably the best route for extending to those systems. So,
Okay, can I ask a question?
yes,
Is
ma'am.
Lot 1, Block 50, is that where the senior citizen is?
Yes, ma'am. That is
Okay, I
exactly
wanna make
what
sure that-
you are in the right spot. So that's
Okay.
the senior center, and then if you're
Yeah.
familiar with what they're proposing, they actually do own Lot 2 of Block 50 as well. The senior center does, and they're
Okay.
proposing a new activities building there.
Right.
And so this extension actually is going to serve them as well. So we saw that as an added benefit to the community at large there.
So the extension is the orange line that you're
Yes,
showing
ma'am.
us.
So you see
I'm
the
making
orange
sure.
line, and then on our map, it's a dark black line on
Right,
the map
okay.
there.
I'm making sure I'm with you.
What size is that line running through that subdivision, or was that Macklemore subdivision?
And
Eric
Macklemore's,
Drive.
yeah.
Yeah,
I
what's
think we are tying in, I believe, John, that's that may be a 6-inch there.
6-inch?
Mhm.
Okay. And then you're gonna connect with a 6?
Yes.
Okay. Is that gonna be enough capacity for this facility, you think?
Yes. So in this particular case, we actually have a pump station on this site for the
Oh, okay.
nursing home, so
Okay.
that we can control how much flow rate can go into that system at any time. And so that was actually part of our design and some of our tasks looking at being able to tie into the system, is worried about that capacity going through that subdivision. We did not want to overwhelm it.
They may not be able to see, they have a copy of this.
Okay, good. Yes.
Now, eventually, is the senior center might build something on Lot 2, Block 50?
Correct. And we've actually coordinated this path with them so that they would not interfere with their plans.
Okay.
And so we're actually working on that project with them as well.
Would
to
they
help
be
them.
able to connect into this system to
Yes.
handle their capacity?
Yes. And so we're showing this to stop just inside our property and not extend to the midpoint of the frontage. As you can see, we really can't have gravity sewer run back downhill. We have to go back to the east. If we tried to extend through the middle of the lot even and try to get to the next lots to the west, we would end up daylighting the sewer and the air, which is what you were always in favor of, is just put those lines on the ground, right?
I've always
Mr.
been in
Wood?
favor of that.
In this case, it would not serve the community well, so
Yep.
we
I got you.
we kind of ran out of grade, so to speak, on this one, to where we couldn't go any further west.
Thank you.
Questions?
I don't have any questions.
No.
Does anybody else have questions?
Looks to me, under these conditions, we ought to go ahead and approve this appeal.
Do I have a motion then to approve?
Motion to approve the appeal.
I have a second.
I second.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Okay. Okay, let me get to the agenda. We have a staff report on substandard structures in the community. That Ms. Angela?
Good afternoon, Angela Sowell, City of Nacogdoches Code Enforcement Supervisor. Just wanted to update the board on our condemned structures, where we are, what we've done
Good.
since we last met. I think in 2025, March or so, we had the 5 structures that were approved for demolition. Those were bidded on and demolished. The 1530 Lunaville Road, 1616 and 1618 Castleberry, 1020 Jacklock, 2015 Terry Street. All those are done. I posted, also in 2025, I posted one at 403 Lane Drive. I've been in contact with the owner. They are in the process of they're gonna tear that down themselves. I spoke with the owner today, went out, so they're gonna take care of that. There was also 2 other structures that was on that list from 2025, 1800 Walton Road and 827 Richmond. Those structures were sold in a tax sale, and the owners demolished them themselves.
Yep, yeah.
We had 2 other structures that the property owners took care of themselves by pulling demolition permit and tearing down. They were at 2312 Stewart Street, 1708 Rose Street. We had one other structure, which was next door. It was unsecured and open, abandoned. Well, it wasn't really abandoned, but we sent the owner a letter. They took care of it. They cleaned it out, got it totally secured, and are in the process of, at some point, moving further with upgrades. 2026, so far we've posted about 13 structures already. We've had 4 of them that have been demolished by the property owners. The rest are going through the review. 524 Hayward, we had a property owner that contacted us. They are going to take care of that themselves. I don't think they're going to demolish it, but they are going to secure it. They've already secured it, cleaned up around it, and are going to, at some point, move forward with getting it back up in good standards. That's pretty much it. The other ones, I have not heard from the owners at this point. I'm sure we'll be bringing them to the board within the next month or 2 if there's no information from the owners or no contact from the owners. So.
Okay. I know it's looking much better around here.
We're trying. Code enforcement staff, we have grown a little bit. We've added on one other code enforcement officer, certified code enforcement officer, which is Christy Cessna. We also have hired on Damon Jackson. He's our code enforcement technician. Probably in May, he'll be going to school to try to get his certification as well. So staff is growing, and we appreciate the administration for that.
Yeah. Well, we appreciate all of your hard work.
Thank you.
Please tell it your whole staff.
Thank you.
Okay. Any questions?
No questions.
Okay.
Thank you.
Well, if there's nothing else, I suggest we adjourn this meeting of February 23rd, standards at 4:30.